Hello everyone, welcome back to Major Hi-Fi. I'm Luke. Today we're going to be talking about Questyle's M12 DAC/amp. So in the past, Questyle has released some portable lossless audio players, but they have not released a kind of pocket-sized independent DAC/amp before. And this is $139, so it's pretty moderately priced, and you are definitely in part paying for the tiny size. Let me just take this out of the box and show you how small it is. So here is the M12. This thing is basically the size of like a stick of gum or something like that. It's very, very teeny tiny. And also in this box, we just get a couple simple accessories, which is a USB-C to USB-C cable and a USB-C to USB-A cable. And that's all you get. You don't really need anything else. And there's not really much to see here, just USB-C, 3.5 millimeter, very straightforward. And yeah, it's basically no buttons, no knobs, none of that. Just a DAC/amp that you can, plug into your phone or computer or whatnot. That is going to add no real extra bulk. And yeah, let's talk about its functionality and design and how it sounds. So this is definitely meant for mobile use. It's very small. You could take it wherever you wanted to. It is designed using Questyle's patented current mode amplifier module, which they claim outperforms operational amplifier chips and is also supposed to make for extremely low distortion. The M12 is also an MQA decoder, and it has a data indicator that is just a light that lights up green for PCM, red for DSD, and magenta for MQA, and that is compatible with Android versions 5.1 and up, Mac OS, and Windows 10 versions 18.3 and up. And yeah, build-wise, it's very, very sturdy. You definitely don't need to worry about breaking this. You just need to worry about not losing it because it is so small. So as long as you can keep track of it, I think it should definitely last you for a very long time. Alright, so in terms of output, what's so great about this is that it automatically adjusts its gain for headphones anywhere from 8 ohms to 600 ohms. It'll light up green for low gain and red for high gain. And I found this automatic adjustment very, very convenient. I was not really adjusting the volume up much more for low impedance headphones than I was for high impedance headphones, which should be the case with any good amp, but you don't always find that with an amp and DAC that is this small. In terms of sound quality, this is where things for me always get interesting, because with DACs and amps, whether or not it makes a noticeable difference to the sound is always kind of a topic of debate. We know that in general they do, but which ones do to which extents and in which ways is very hazy. And often I listen to an amp and I'm kind of sitting there like, should I pretend I hear a difference? Should I pretend it's doing something other than just making it louder, which is like, that's I guess enough for it to do, right? But typically, you want to buy an amp not just to make your sound, or an amp/DAC. You want to buy obviously to boost the signal and to give you, the best quality, but you want to be able to hear it, right? Like that's the whole point. So for this one, I was really impressed because there was a noticeable upgrade in quality. And I think it's an upgrade that a lot of people will be able to detect, even if you haven't been in audio for, a long time, or you haven't been in the whole audiophile world for years. I think you'll still be able to notice a certain level of upgrade with this. And the more you use it, and the more you kind of get used to the sound of it and then maybe switch back and forth without using it, it'll become more and more obvious. And by the time I was done kind of testing this for my review, I was very attached to using this because it makes things sound a lot better. So it's not intensely colored or saturated. A lot of amps and DACs lean towards transparency. It seems to wash away this layer of kind of dirt that you didn't even realize was there until after you used this. And then once you hear that kind of cleaned up version, it's like you can't unhear it. I tested this, for example, with Canera's Nana, which is an IEM I already love, as many other people do. And it's already a very clean sounding IEM. But with the M12, it just had this extra level of clarity, and the soundstage and dimension was also just definitely further sort of hashed out and even more so expanded, which was really, really nice because the Nana already has a really good soundstage and imaging capability, but with this, it was just that much better. And then also on the Nana, as I found with other earphones that I used this with, it definitely gave a little bit of accentuation to the high end, but it warmed it up in tandem with this kind of slight accentuating, so I didn't mind it because it felt like it was smoothing it out and pushing it forward. So okay to push the high end forward in my book as long as you smooth it out and don't, just push it forward and make things more harsh. Did a great job of just sort of using this as another method of gaining some added clarity. I also used this with Sennheiser's IE300 IEMs, and it gave a kind of a similar added sparkle to it. I also found that it affected the low end response a little bit, so the IE300 has a really, really strong bass response and sub response, and on the M12, that sub and bass felt a little bit more spread out and cinematic and a bit more kind of engulfing, not overpowering the rest of the sound signature, but definitely had a bit more of a wider breadth to it. I also kind of detected maybe some extra cleanliness on the mid-range when I used this with the IE300, though I wasn't quite as keen on this because I really didn't notice that on the Nana, but overall it just seemed to disperse the sound. I also used this with numerous other IEMs and headphones, so Campfire Andromeda, Final Audio A3000, Sennheiser DT1990 Pro, I'm forgetting quite a list, but basically with all of them, the consistent things I found was it seemed to disperse the sound a bit more, lightly accentuate the high end, and then just kind of give a general sense of clarity and more sort of space, and it just made each headphone sound like that right level of upgrade. So where it's not trying too hard to be like, look, I'm doing something, like your headphone sounds different, doesn't it? Where it's like, well, I don't want it to sound that different, but it sounds just different enough where you're like, okay, this makes sense, I'm glad I have this, but it doesn't feel like it's trying to reinvent the sound of my headphone, which I already like. I just want it to be even better. So yeah, overall, big fan of the M12. If you want to plug and play, really small amp, this is definitely a place to look. It's a pretty moderate, fair price for the quality you're getting. It's got a nice, consistently noticeable upgrade on the sound that, like I said, is not something you need the most fine-tuned ears in the world to hear. If you've never bought a DAC/amp before, which, maybe for this sort of not super exorbitant price, this might be a place people who've never had a DAC/amp might look. If you're looking to get into audio and stuff like that, it might not be immediately obvious the difference it's making. I say this for every person buying their first DAC/amp, but the more you use it, it's like when you stop using it, suddenly you realize, wait, I need that in my, listening chain. So yeah, really, really great, really small, and overall just very effective. So those are my thoughts on Questyle's M12 DAC/amp, and please let me know if you have any other questions about this itty bitty thing, and I will be happy to answer them. Leave me a comment, whatnot, all that stuff. I will be back soon with some more reviews and videos and whatnot, and until next time, happy listening.